Thank you to C&M Garage Door Services for sponsoring the Wren Broadcast Network. Keep your garage door running smoothly. Garage door tune-up, springs, cables, gear kits, safety sensors, noisy rollers, and new installs. Quality work at a reasonable price. Contact C&M at 864-325-1517. That's 864-325-1517.
Are you looking for a brand new home in the Greenville, South Carolina area? With so many builders and communities, how can you be sure you will get the best deal? Realtor Glenn Klinger specializes in new home sales. Glenn is new home sales and residential construction certified and an expert in new homes in Greenville. So why take a chance on missing out on the perfect new home? Call the Klinger team today.
I would give him 15 out of 10 stars. He'll always be super satisfied with Preferred.
On time and friendly. Very pleased with Preferred. Would highly recommend. Prompt service. Technician was skilled, polite, and efficient with our plumbing issues.
5 stars, thumbs up. We absolutely recommend Preferred Home Services.
These guys rock their jobs and are consummate professionals.
Thanks for calling Preferred. How can we make you smile today? I would give him 15 out of 10 stars. He'll always be super satisfied with Preferred.
These guys rock their jobs and are consummate professionals.
On time and friendly.
Keep your septic system running smoothly. For a limited time, we're offering septic tank pumping for just $399. Call Preferred Home Services today to take advantage of this offer.
5 stars, thumbs up. We absolutely recommend Preferred Home Services.
Home Services. Go, 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 Preferred.
Congratulations to head coach Amy Godfrey. She was named the SCHSL Coach of the Year for all classifications as she won 3A Region 2, the Upper State Championship, the State Championship, and South Carolina Volleyball Coach of the Year. She will be recognized at the annual awards dinner this July. Thank you to Consolidated Pipe and Supply for sponsoring the Wren Broadcast Network. For all your piping supplies, business or residential, we do it all. Just give us a call. Consolidated Pipe and Supply, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday, 864-964-9370, 1727 White Horse Road.
I'm your overly competitive brother.
Check.
Psych. And I'm about to steal this game from you, just like I stole Kelly Carter in high school, huh?
You got no game. Dude, that's a foul.
And now you're ready to settle a score. Game over. And if you don't have the right home insurance coverage, well, you can end up paying for all this yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Thanks, bro.
Take a lap, rookie.
Real mature.
What would tomorrow look like if you sold your house today? Maybe you'd move to a new city or a new country. Maybe you'd pick up birding or birdies. You could get into wine, not that into wine, or skiing, warmer skiing. Or maybe you'd spend more time doing nothing at all. When you're ready for whatever comes next, we'll be ready to help you get there. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
You want your day to be perfect, whether it's your wedding, prom, pageant, or homecoming. Dimitra Designs understands. Voted best in the upstate, Dimitra Designs is the upstate's largest full-service bridal emporium, featuring top designers for pageant, homecoming, and prom. Offering the selection of a major city retailer, from hair to makeup to photos, Dimitra is committed to making all eyes turn when you enter the room. Visit our website right now. Print your instant Dimitra formal wear savings coupon. Dimitra Designs Bridal Emporium, Pleasantburg Drive, Greenville.
When you're ready to own it, our mortgage experts make it happen.
I was done with renting. Founders, they made my first mortgage easy.
We needed mortgage experts.
And more space.
More space?
We were there once.
I didn't even know what PMI was.
We knew.
At Founders, they never charge PMI.
Never.
When it comes to your mortgage, Founders is more equipped than ever, and you'll never see PMI. From first-time buyers to seasoned homeowners, it's nice to work with a lender you can trust.
So you can relax.
Thank you for considering G-Force for your parking lot project. Each G-Force location is veteran-owned and uses the latest and greatest Graco state-of-the-art equipment with onboard computers and laser technologies for perfect results every time. We hope you'll choose G-Force for all your pavement marking needs.
When you hear funny noises like that,
Jugga, 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 jugga.
like that, it's time to call Preferred Home Services. We'll fix that too. Contact us today to learn more about how we can help you with your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs.
Thanks for calling Preferred. How can we make you smile today?
Thank you to our team physicians and athletic trainers for the excellent sports medicine care they provide to our school and community. St. Francis Sports Medicine and Bon Secours Piedmont Orthopedics. Together, we keep you moving.
I would give him 15 out of 10 stars. He'll always be super satisfied with Preferred.
These guys rock their jobs and are consummate professionals. On time and friendly.
Don't wait. Call Preferred Home Services today to schedule your Precision 21-point HVAC tune-up for just $59.
5 stars, thumbs up. We absolutely recommend Preferred Home Services.
Thanks for calling Preferred. How can we make you smile today?
'84 Lumber, now hiring Pittsburgh area manager trainees. Apply today and receive an $840 signing bonus.
Once upon a time, moving was stressful and far from a fairy tale.
How are we supposed to move our house and get rid of our junk?
But the big bad move was no match for college hunks hauling junk and moving.
Have no fear, the hunks are here.
College hunks did all the packing, moving, and unpacking for the family. They also hauled away the unwanted clutter to be properly donated and recycled. And the family moved happily ever after. Make moving and junk removal less stressful and more magical.
Life, with its many stages. From the "my little one has just arrived" stage to the "I have arrived" stage. From the first home you'll ever buy to the one home you'll have forever. No matter where you find yourself in life, your forever agent will be there. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Founders is committed to community involvement within our schools and student athletic programs. And it's a commitment we continue to establish, embody, and embrace for the long haul. Because at Founders Federal Credit Union, we understand how busy your day can be. And worrying about your financial matters shouldn't slow you down. So go ahead, keep cheering your team on to another win. After all, you've got enough on your plate. Relax. You're with Founders.
Hello and welcome to the 84 Lumber pregame show. I know this is a little different. We're not in Piedmont, South Carolina. We're not at Singleton Field at Daniel. This is a remote pregame show brought to you by 84 Lumber. Of course, if you don't follow my Twitter, go follow my Twitter or join the Wren Booster Club Facebook to keep up with all the news revolving the game this week. As you can find the Daniel Lions stream link. I think Austin will put it on the screen now as I'm talking. It's also $12 if you aren't able to make that trip. I'll also be tweeting out drive-by-drive updates, maybe some stat updates as well. Of course, the Daniel Lions come in at home 11-0, 5-0 in region, the number 1 seed. They'll take on the Kings, who are 6-5, 4-1, and the 2 seed out of region 2. And as usual, when we start these off, this is the highlights from last week's 49-32 win over Woodruff.
Down and goal at the 7-yard line.
Bagwell, hand off to Price. He's got blockers in front of him. Cuts it up the middle. Touchdown. Reese Price puts 6 on the board and drive number 1 of round number 1 here at home. Snap. Hand off to Price. He cuts it up the middle. Breaks a tackle. What a move. Number 2 for number 5. Reese Price makes it 13-3 in quarter number 1, Keith.
Great start Friday night. Mixing it up a little bit.
Canes. Now we're going to drop back and throw. Bagwell drops back. He's got a wide open guy at the top of the field. Caught. Carson Bryant, 20. He's going to hit the 15, trying to make a move. 10-5, walk-in freshman. Touchdown. Carson Bryant. Colton Bagwell finally found him. And 13 takes it to the crib. 20 to Bagwell. He'll keep it up the middle right side, breaks it out, trying to look for a block, makes a move. 5, can he make another one? Walk-in touchdown. CB 427-17. 2 minutes to roll. Snap. He's got pressure in front of him. Ethan Moody, Jacoby Dukes. Canes are in the backfield. Finally bring him down. Ethan Moody is the last man. Vinegar in motion. Snap. He'll hand it off to
wide open
Seth Hickerson. Throws it downfield. Parker Bell caught. Can he wrestle his way to the end zone? Breaks a tackle. That's a big man in the end zone. Parker Bell strikes for the Canes with 18.8. They do bring an extra couple backers. Champ Reeves is in the backfield with Alex McCrary. And 43 said he's got them all boxed up. Snap. Hand off to 5 right side. He's looking for number 3. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown. Reese Price, he's gone for his 3rd touchdown of the night, 41-25. Canes bringing pressure. Steps up in the pocket. He's going down. Champ Reeves box him in 43. Roofers red zone. Snap right back to 3 left side. Looking for a hole. Has one. 3. Touchdown. Ethan Moody, the senior linebacker turned running back. 8:12 to go. The Canes up 48-25. 5's night to shine alone. Snap. Canes bringing pressure. Drops back in the pocket. Trying to get out of there. He can't. Uh-oh. The Canes are in the backfield. And we might have ourselves a player of the game on defense. Champ Reeves. 3 sacks.
Of course, the Canes did end up winning that game 49-32, as I said a while ago, and a lot of it came on the ground. CB4 and Reese Price were the 2 dynamic duos that we've seen all year long. CB4 went 8 for 10, 147 yards with a touchdown, with also 14 rushes, 125 yards, and a TD with his legs. Reese Price, 21 rushes, 141 yards with 3 touchdowns. He eventually went on to be named Player of the Week, brought to you by Preferred Home and Services. Parker Bell, 3 receptions, 82 yards. That big man touchdown early on in that football game. Carson Bryant, the 1 catch, a 60-yard touchdown that really kind of changed the game. And, of course, a guy that I talked about at the end of the game that I think could have won Player of the Week, Champ Reeves, as that defense really just stepped up in all aspects. A lot of stops there when the Canes offense was sputtering early. His 2.5 sacks and ability to get to the quarterback with guys like Cam Sanders, Jacoby Dukes. We'll talk about later on when we talk about the Lions, but that defensive line showed us who they were against the Wolverines, and we talk about it a lot. That run game is what the Canes want to lean on. They did it throughout. And also they mixed in the big plays. I've mentioned guys like Seth Hickerson, Braden Binnicker, being able to make those big plays early on in the season. Last week it was the guys we have been talking about maybe getting the ball a little more, the freshman in Carson Bryant, Parker Bell, who will also be brought up when we talk about the Daniel Lyons defense later and just how you're going to be able to hopefully beat those guys. But last week we saw those guys show out. Reese Price did what he did, as I said, CB4, 8 for 10 passer. I feel like we talk about that a lot, his ability to make the easy throw, don't force things, not have to play Superman. Last week was just a complete all-around effort. You almost put 50 points on the board, 32, a lot of that. I mean, was coming early on in that football game where the Wolverines were really able to match you offensively, as they had, I think, 2 field goals to start that football game. So the defense, as I said a while ago, that front seven played a big-time factor in that football game. I think a name we didn't mention is Ethan Moody, his late rushing touchdown. We know he wants to get involved on the offense. His ability to change the game defensively, him and Alex McCrary control a lot of this defense on the edges. So last week was fun just to see a complete all-around game from the Canes. Of course, next we take a look at the 1 seed, the undefeated Daniel Lions. This is a team that hasn't really, let's say, tripped over anyone this year. They've had absolutely zero problems with their season. Last week was no different. We saw early in that football game the defense take control. I think Daniel had 2 field goals and a safety to start that football game. They went 49-2 over Blue Ridge. And this name is going to throw a lot of people off, and it threw me off when I read it, if it's right. Lee Turnipseed, a football name for certain at quarterback for the Lions. 10 of 12, 209 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He also had 44 rush yards and 2 TDs with his feet. Corey Bennett is a name the Canes are going to have to watch out for. We've seen our share of really good running backs. 8 rushes, 40 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't have to lean on him a lot last week, did the Lions. Jason Bish, 1 reception. It's an 80-yard touchdown reception. He's a guy on the outside. We know the Lions have big-time receivers. That's going to be something the Canes really, if you're a Cane fan, haven't had to worry about. You get Tyler Morgan back. Titus Sessions has looked amazing in the last couple of weeks. Brandon Kirby has really taken the step this year. And the back end, even the guys maybe that are figuring it out, Noah Ramey, Tyler Morgan. But when you talk about a guy like Noah Ramey, it's also Tyler Morgan is back there. They're close. They know what each other want to do in the back of that defense. So none of these guys should really scare you on the deep ball, especially with the Canes secondary. The Daniel Lions defense, Spencer Kahn, 7 tackles, and Preston Rollins with a sack versus Blue Ridge, as the Daniel Lions keep on walking as they look to do what the BHP Bears are looking to do and go undefeated and win a 3A state championship. Before we talk about keys to the game versus the Lions, and of course later on in that playoff picture that we'll take a look at down the stretch, of course, I want to thank Demetra Designs on the uniform reporters. The Canes will go with that nice white on white jersey, white pants, the gold helmets more than likely, as the Canes unveil maybe the fans' favorite uniforms, even if it is a road uniform. Always nice with the all-white look and the gold. And the weather, of course, can change. Austin, of course, will put it on the screen for all of you to see the expectations for Friday night. I think it's in the 50s, if I'm not wrong, but wouldn't be shocked if it gets a little colder. Should be a good night for football as rain enters throughout the weekend. And now we move into the meat and potatoes of this 1 seed versus 2 seed matchup. How can the Canes upset the Daniel Lions in a rivalry game that we've watched for a long time take part in Piedmont and in 6 Mile, Clemson, South Carolina, some would say. Number one, I talked about it earlier, Parker Bell is going to have to be involved in this pass game at some capacity. He's just too big of a threat in the middle of the field. I talked about it last week, a guy like Eli Wilson and what he was able to do in the pass game. I know Parker's a really good blocker. They also maybe want to throw off defenses with a guy like Ethan Hartness, who many wouldn't expect to go out for a pass, but we saw in the Southside game what he can do in the middle of the field. But I think 87 completely changes the way a defense has to set up for this offense that they know want to run the football. So look to see 87 be involved in some form or fashion. Another thing I talked about earlier in this pregame show, the defensive line. I think QB pressure is going to maybe flip the script for the Canes. If you're able to get into the backfield and get at the Lions quarterback and Lee, I think you can change this football game and control it. Make Daniels play behind the sticks. Guys like Cam Sanders being able to get pressure. Tyron Jackson being able to stop the run. Champ Reeves, if he can replicate what he did a week ago. And, of course, Jacoby Dukes has been so big in the run stopping for this Canes front seven against teams like Powdersville. If you're able to lead him into a mistake and get a couple sacks early, make Daniel play on their heels, I think that is going to play a role. And number 3, the biggest of the 3, the turnover margin. I think the turnover margin wins this football game. Whoever loses the turnover margin, I think loses the game. The Canes can't afford to make a lot of the mistakes that we saw in the big-time games in the last couple of weeks. You think back to Powdersville, you have a fumble, I think, early in that first half. In the second half, when you're going to win the football game, you have a 4-and-out that eventually gives Powdersville the football back. Yes, you get a stop, but that could have led to a loss in that situation. You look at the BHP game early, you score a touchdown with Seth Hickerson. It's called back due to a holding. You look at the Braden Beneker dropped pass in the middle of the field. Just the small stuff, the things you don't expect the Canes to mess up on. You can't afford to have those against a Daniel Lions team that will 100% capitalize off the mistakes you make, because as I've said throughout this week to numerous amount of people, this is a very good Daniel Lions football team. I know their schedule may not be the hardest that other 3A teams have played, but this Daniel Lions team is a very well-coached football team and a very talented one at that. So, again, can't afford to make mistakes. I think if you're going to win this game, those are the 3 ways. Porker Bell, some type of pass game for him, QB pressure in that front seven, how they're able to control the Lions, and win the turnover margin. And I think that will lead to a Canes victory come Friday night. And last, well, not last, but second to last, we take a look at this playoff bracket here in 3A. We start on the BHP and Clinton side. BHP will play at home against Pendleton, who Pendleton is in that Daniel Lions region. They were the only team that maybe, if you want to say, played them closer than the others. So Pendleton could be a team that shocks the Bears if they're able to get a lead early. Clinton, a team that didn't get off to a high start. They were losing to Palmetto early in last week's football game. They get to take on Broome, who, if I'm correct, is, I want to say, the 2 seed in the Chapman region. So them and Chapman get to play the 2 seeds from opposite regions. But Clinton versus Broome should be a fun one. I think Clinton is kind of like figuring their stuff out, able to get some guys back, I think, this week. So I expect Clinton to win this football game, but you never know when it comes playoff time. The other side of this bracket, of course, we've already talked about the Lions and the Canes, 1 versus 2 at the top. But the other side is going to be fun. Chapman versus Chester. If I'm not wrong, 2 teams that have already played each other this year, not too long ago, if I'm correct. But Chapman, a team that not a lot of people are talking about, that could easily win this 3A upper state bracket. And Chester, a team that is a 2 seed, but I want to say lost to Clinton very closely. Chester is also a very good football team. They, if I'm right, won last week at home over Powdersville, who we all know is a very good football team. So expect Chapman versus Chester to be a fun one as we head deeper into the 3A playoff picture. And last but not least, I, of course, thank everyone for tuning in here to the pregame show brought to you by 84 Lumber. And I also want to thank our main title sponsors from the year, Team Wise, who is our main sponsor of the entire broadcast, Consolidated Pipe and Supply, who did post-game preferred home services for the player of the game, the orthodontist, at the halftime show, 84 Lumber for the pregame. And I know I'm missing a couple that we talked about throughout the broadcast. Thank you to everyone that supported the broadcast team this year. Last but not least, the fans. We weren't able to do this. We probably wouldn't even think about doing this without people that would actually watch. We've had a lot of games this year go over 1,000 views on YouTube. So we thank everyone that tunes in and supports this Hurricanes football program as we inch closer into basketball season, which two teams that the Canes are going to be very exciting to watch. That men's team with a legacy transfer in Abiza Franklin, returning state championship players like Brock Cherry, Brett Warga, Jeremiah Campbell, and others led by Fran, and the girls team who lost in state last year, who should definitely be expected to get back there a season after the fact with the return of Raina McGowan's and the growth of some of those young stars. So definitely tune in for that. And again, just thank you for tuning in all season long. And hopefully tonight we see the Canes go on the road and get a win, and we can keep doing this thing every single week. Thank you, and go Canes.